are in a can't stop, won't stop mindset as we enter week 2 of training camp. There's a lot to look forward to in this preseason. We're joined by WFNY News 2's Nick Carboni with all things Panthers. So Nick, let's jump right into it. How are the Panthers handling this extreme heat?
Yeah, you know what? It's a lot to plan for, right? And good morning, and thanks for having me. So the Panthers actually have a cooling trailer on site at practice. This is something that they installed last year for this reason. I mean, this has got to be one of the hottest training camps in the NFL. Plus, there is no indoor option as the Panthers build their field house, which is set for 2027. So on Saturday, which was really their first practice in this extreme heat because they went Wednesday, Thursday, and had Friday off, the players and even Coach Dave Canales went into that trailer multiple times. So they had a couple of cooling breaks. I think Dave Canales called them fueling breaks, and that allowed them to drop their body temperature back down. It allowed them to go back out to practice, finish practice the way they wanted to, and get, the work they wanted to get done, and get it done in these temperatures and in these conditions, because you're going to face adverse conditions in football. It may not be 100 degrees by the time the season is in full swing, but it's clearly with these 10 a.m. to noon practice times, they are considering the heat, but also wanting to get their work done. And I'll also tell you that most NFL teams measure temperature with wet bulb globe temperature. You're not going to mistake me for a meteorologist. My understanding is that basically kind of measures the entire atmosphere. You've got your playing surface, you've got the air temperature, you've got the humidity. And these players also wear GPS monitoring trackers. A lot of that, we see their speeds and everybody kind of looks at those, but it also measures, heart rate and exertion and things like that. So the Panthers training and medical staff are well aware of the early symptoms of heat exhaustion. So, if an individual player seems to be overheating, they can be pulled into that cooling trailer. There is an equipment, I think they call it a shed, but it's a big structure that provides shade and cooling as well. And of course, Bank of America Stadium is just a quick cart ride if the player needs to go inside.
That's pretty interesting with the trackers. So who are some of the players that have stood out on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I'll start defensively. The first one that stands out is rookie pass rusher Princely Umanmielen. Now, we did talk about him last week because he kind of hit Bryce Young's hand. Coach Dave Canales the next day told us, look, I went back and watched the film. He actually tried to pull away, and it was incidental contact. But I think the point is last week with Princely Umanmielen is that he got to Bryce Young 2 times in 2 days. Pretty good for a rookie pass rusher that was drafted in the 3rd round. Remember, the Panthers went offense with their 1st-round pick in Tetairoa McMillan, the wide receiver, and then they double-dipped, taking 2 first-team All-SEC edge rushers, pass rushers, Nick Scorton and Umanmielen. Umanmielen and his speed have stood out tremendously so far, but we're going to see what happens when the pads come on. And by the way, that is today. Today is the first padded practice. So he's the defensive standout through 2 or 3 days of practice. Offensively, I think Saturday especially, you saw good things from that rookie receiver I talked about, McMillan, another rookie receiver, Jimmy Horn Jr., who just seems to be speeding by everybody. But I think the best story in Panthers training camp so far, and by next week we could be talking about it as the best story in NFL training camp, is Hunter Renfrow. He was a walk-on at Clemson, ended up being a big part of the Tigers team, won a national championship, got drafted, played for the Raiders, went to a Pro Bowl, mysteriously was absent from the NFL last year. Turns out he had ulcerative colitis. It was an illness that really hit him hard. He was working a 9-to-5 job. He was out of football as he tried to figure himself out medically. The Panthers signed him this offseason. He came to minicamp, and he looked okay. He's trying to get back into at least some sort of football shape. Well, now here in training camp, Coach Dave Canales has been really impressed with Renfrow. He is a big name that stands out in a more crowded wide receiver room right now. So I think we do have some of that Coach Canales sound talking about Renfrow and really giving credence to what we're all seeing, that he does look a lot better, and he almost looks like he did a couple years ago.
I mean, it's just the Hunter Renfrow I remember. So he looks healthy. And I mean, I think, everyone who's watched football over the last, 4 or 5 years remembers what he looks like, and he's really playing at top form right now. I'm really excited to have him here. and to have his family, which is, right down the road here after this practice, to be able to just connect with him. And it's a great story, that's unfolding right in front of our eyes. So it's really exciting to see him playing out there.
Nick, it's always great to have you. Such great insight. We'll be sure to keep you up to date on all things Carolina Panthers as your official station for the team.